Hello, lovely people. Welcome to my channel. It's Hila here, Saturday Night Stitch, and thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some recent makes of mine. That is things that I have made roughly from about December through to January. And so let's dive straight into it. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you is something that I made in December on a whim, and it was my Christmas dress. And once I made this dress, it became my uniform throughout the rest of December. And it's the Southbank sweater dress, a dress pattern that I have made so many times now, but it is a fantastic winter sweater dress. So I had this fabric that I had ordered from Pounds Fabrics, I think well over 13 or 14 months ago. It's a really lovely sweater knit fabric. It's a fleece bag, so it's very soft and cuddly on the inside. And it has this Nordic style knitting. So you have the bears over there, and you've got some reindeers, but they're not quite in straight lines. As you can tell, there is some sort of variation, which adds a little bit of interest as far as I can tell. So I added some contrast by doing knitted cuffs in navy, and as well as the neckband in the navy color. And for the hem, I used a hemband. And yeah, and so I loved wearing this. I was wearing this all the time. The only times that I wasn't wearing it was when it had to go into the wash. And this washes really well. I don't actually need to iron it. In fact, this is what it looks like out of the washer dryer. So fabulous, really great addition to my Christmas dresses outfits. I was always wearing it with leggings underneath and my hunter wellies, which I always wear in Christmas, and it kept me very warm, and I was very happy with it. So yeah, another great vote for the Nina Lee Southbank sweater dress. Oh, the one thing that I didn't do that I've done on other ones, I didn't add the pockets to it, because I have found that because the silhouette of the Nina Lee Southbank dress is quite close fitting, that when you do have the pockets, they can be quite ungainly. And generally, though I'm a big fan of pockets, if they ruin the design line of a garment, I won't use them. I would rather than make sure that I have a bag to use for anything that I want to carry. So this one was number one. Love this. So this was my Christmas uniform. So the next thing is a Christmas shirt that I made for my husband using, oh, hang on, let me just grab it. Using some Christmas novelty fabric that I got from Samuel Taylor's. I hadn't made my husband a novelty shirt in a while now, and he has a thing whereby every Wednesday when he goes into work, he will wear one of his quirky shirts. And his workmates were beginning to ask him, you know, we're now familiar with your entire rotation. You've got octopi, you've got lobsters, you've got pagoda dragons, you've got stormtroopers. When are you going to debut the next one? So I thought, oh my days, I need to do this. And so I made this. I actually finished this shirt in a day because it's good old fashioned, well trusted, tried and tested pattern McCall's M6044 to the rescue. So I managed to whip this up in one day so that it was ready for him to take it. And he debuted it on the office Christmas party, which was really awesome. And this fabric is a really nice quilting. It's a quilting cotton, but slightly lighter, I would say. Yeah, and it's really lovely. So I tried to make the band. I tried to do some pattern matching across the band here, which it does, which you'll see in the video that I'm going to show you of him wearing it. And I put a yoke on here, and I pattern matched that so that everything was just buttoning up nicely. And the pocket, I also pattern matched that so that you can hardly see it. So very well received. He always wears this with he's got these winter green, like a forest green chinos from Marks and Spencer's that pick up the green really nicely on it, and with a brown belt. It is fabulous. And I'm very happy with the Pelon Flex PF 101, that's it, PF 101, the new interfacing that I use for colors. It is brilliant. If you love making shirts and you want to give them that extra edge of professionalism, I would highly recommend that particular interfacing. Yeah, so it's this interfacing. So it does look like it's woven cotton, but it's sewn, but it's really, really good because this has been washed 3 times already, because he then proceeded to wear it 3 more times in December because it was it was that good. Obviously, even the cuffs, it's just a really fabulous thing. And I enjoyed working on this so much. I really do love making shirts. I really enjoy the process, the precision of making shirts, and I definitely need to be making more shirts. So those were the 2 Christmassy kind of things that I made. My sons also made some placemats at Christmas that we used for dressing the table on Christmas Day. So that was pretty awesome. It was a task that I gave them, and I paid them a little bit of money because I didn't have time to do it, and I wanted placemats and I didn't want to buy them. And so we used some leftover scraps of Christmas fabric, and they did it, and they used the machines. So the other thing that I made was this 2-piece set that I'm wearing today. My kids, my girls, actually, they've started their half term today. So we're having a bit of almost like a pajama lounging around the house kind of day because it's really cold. The temperatures have dropped. And so this is what I'm wearing today. And I'll show you the videos over here. And I love it. This is a Minerva exclusive fabric. It's a crushed velvet. So it's soft and it's very tactile. And one of my sons, who's just very tactile, he loves to touch nice, soft, smooth things. He just loves this. So I'm going to make a plushie for him out of it, but it's really lovely. It's stretchy. It's so comfortable and it feels very warm. I loved this particular color because it's a cool tone, obviously, which, as you know, ever since I had my color as Dan, I've just been such a stickler to trying to stick within my colors very much. So I quite liked this, and it's very bright. It's very vibrant. And I wanted something in winter that was bright and vibrant and that is, you know, uplifting, mood uplifting. So for this one, I used the wonderful book by Wendy Ward called A Beginner's Guide to Sewing with Knitted Fabrics. The book I wish I'd had when I started sewing all those years ago, because it takes away all of the fear of sewing with knitted fabrics, and it contains several patterns in there that you can use to build a capsule wardrobe. I've sewn from this before. I've done the Winnuts tank, and I've done the I think it's called the Longshore skirt, which was a bit modernistic with drapey stuff, but I didn't quite like it. I didn't understand it at the time, but now I understand it because I realized that dressing in soft gamine silhouettes suits me a lot more than that one. But that's a topic for another video. But yeah, so this is fabulous book. Highly recommend this book, actually. It's got a lot of really just great basic patterns. And so I used, for the trousers, I used the Monsal. Yeah, Monsal. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Monsal trousers, and I used the Peak T-shirt to make the top. And everything comes together. The instructions are really great on this. You get the pattern sheets, and then you just trace them out. So I keep all of my traced patterns that I've used with this. They're all in there. So the book is getting just a little bit bulky. But this is a really great book. Guys, highly recommend this. Okay, so then moving on to what I think is the pièce de résistance of this. And it is my Burda 1 2024 skirt number 114. I love this skirt so much because it turned out even better than what I imagined. So I have made this in this wool mix fabric that I bought from Pounds Fabrics, and it is a check. This is effectively a panel skirt or a goal skirt because the pattern pieces are all sort of small, long strips. My fabric has a lot of give on the bias. So there was no way I could make this look stable with these 2 side panels being on the bias, because yeah, it was just crazy how much it was stretching along the bias, and the only way that I could control it was if I interfaced it, which is what I had to do for the pocket flaps. I had to interface them so that they would look okay. So that was a design decision based on the quality of the fabric itself. I did do my best to try and pattern match across all of the seams, but I wasn't as successful, but that is okay. I was planning on doing pockets, on doing some welt pockets in here, but because my fabric, as I mentioned, the weave it's tight when it's encased like this, but the moment you cut into it, it goes very loose and saggy. And so the more I thought about it, the more I just realized that it wasn't really going to work very well. I was going to end up having pockets, but then the side seam would sort of drop down a bit, unless if I put unless if I put buttons or fastenings to keep the pocket mouth closed and stable. And I didn't want patch pockets on it because I thought patch pockets would ruin it. So anyway, I just stopped overthinking it because I was beginning to suffer analysis by paralysis, which is always a dangerous thing for me as a seamstress. It always leads to me then becoming precious about a pattern or fabric, and then I end up not making the vision because I just want it to be so perfect, which is something I am working on. So anyway, needless to say, I'm glad to say that for this one, I did manage to just work past that. And I was just like, you know what? It will be fine. It will be all right. And I made it. And I love it. I love it so much. I do have a shorts video that sort of was capturing little bits of it as I was sewing it along the way, because I did have a lot of fun with sewing this. It came together so easily and so nicely. And for the waistband, I didn't use their pattern pieces because their pattern pieces, the waistband was made up of 3 pattern pieces and it was slightly thicker. And for me, I just used 1 piece of fabric all the way across, and I made it what's my thing, is it 3, it's about 15 millimeters. I just blanked there. I can't remember what it is in inches, but it's about 15 millimeters, 1.5 centimeters is sort of the perfect waistband thickness for me, waistband width for me, that doesn't curl in because I've got a bit of a contoured waist, so I can't do those straight waistbands. And I finished it with an emerald green bias binding, and I put my name to it, and I love it. Now, I made the decision that I wasn't going to line this and that I was going to wear it with a slip underneath. So I wear it with I have several Marks and Spencer slips that I invested in that I like to put on under clothes because I think that they just make clothes hang better. And so that's what I do with this one when I'm wearing this one. And I've loved styling this. This is just such a versatile skirt, so much so that I've decided I am going to actually make another one in there's this Prussian navy fabric that I got from Rainbow Fabrics. I wasn't too sure what I was going to make with it, but that would make it so fantastic for spring, particularly early spring when it's not so cold that I need a wool mix fabric, but it's not warm enough for me to be able to wear my cotton lawns and what have you. So, and I think it's just going to be fabulous to style it with just the black one. So that's going to be quite exciting. But I love this. I have been wearing this so much. And it's so warm. I can't tell you how lovely and warm it is. And I'm just so glad that I watched that, those movies from the Marples, from Miss Marple, from the 1960s, because that's where I got the idea to make this from. And yeah, and it's really great. Oh, more deets. I totally forgot. I used a hook and eye fastening. The original pattern requires you to use a D-ring, and I haven't had good experiences with D-rings. I think that they don't work particularly well, and I don't think that they look that great in clothes, personally speaking. I just don't like them as well. So I used a hook and eye fastening over here, and then on here to anchor the wrap, I've got a buttonhole and a little button, yeah. And then in order to not have a wardrobe malfunction, I've got some snap fasteners over here, and that just keeps it nicely wrapped over. Although the overlap with the wrap skirt is sufficient enough that you don't really need to worry about showing too much that you don't want to show, so to speak. And you could always increase it. You could make it wider if you wanted to be on the safe side. However, I was very happy with this. So it's a really great pattern. I think I am so pleased with this one just for this pattern alone. I think that the January 2024 issue was a banger just for this, because I can see myself making more and more of this. And of course, I don't make my clothes for compliments or anything like that. I generally tend to wear clothes to try and, present myself in the way that I see myself and how I want to have fun with clothes. But I gotta say, it is a nice cherry on the cake when you then do get compliments when you're wearing something that you really love. And whenever I've worn this, I've just gotten, that's a really lovely skirt. Where did you get that? I made it. And then it's like, I love that. And I really love it when everything works well together for, for the good of that. So yeah, no, definitely a keeper. This is a keeper of a pattern, and I am definitely going to spend a bit more time trying to work on how to make the pockets work on subsequent ones. So that was that one. I spent a bit longer there, but really, really like that. Oh, and by the way, with that one, I did a lot of hand stitching. I did a lot of hand sewing because this is a really lovely fabric. But as you can see on the hem there, you can hardly tell that there's a hem, and that's because that was some invisible hemming, and all the way down the front of the skirt as well. That was me doing that. And it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it to create the couture finish that I get from this. And because it has the panels, you can make it really fit you very, very nicely. So that was that one. The last thing that I wanted to show you were the dresses from, what is that? From Otobri 2008 that I made for my girls. And oh, it just came out so cute, right? So cute. So they have a yoke on here. So on this one, I decided to add this contrasting neckband here, but then I didn't like it as much. So on the second one, I didn't do that. So on the second one, I just went straight for the cover stitch machine. And so with the yoke, the instructions are that you are supposed to top stitch just the yoke itself. The sleeves have got this really cute puffiness to them because there's a pleat. There are two pleats over here. And then I finished those with a cover stitch machine. And I finished everything with a cover stitch machine. The fabric is a French terry that I got from Pounds Fabrics I think about 2 years ago now. But it's really great, and it's the fit on this is phenomenal, which is expected with Otobri clothes. The Otobri clothes, they get the fit just right. So I selected it based on their height more than anything else, and they love it. They were wearing these when I finished them, and they were saying that they were so comfortable. And I plan on making them another pair in this fabric. In this fabric here. So this one is a French terry fabric, which I think is just going to be really lovely. And I am going to be making this one for them. So these ones, I'm so proud of them because I finally got to sort out my dysfunctional relationship with my cover stitch machine. Several years ago, I bought a cover stitch machine brand new, which I just could not get to grips with, and it has languished in the corner of my sewing cave as an eyesore. Every time I would look at it, I would just get really, it takes up so much space, but I don't use it. And so basically I decided that 2024, I'm done being terrified of this thing. I'm going to figure this thing out, even if it kills me. And so one of the times that I was supposed to be sewing, I just sat down with the instruction booklet. I spent hours trying to figure it out. And eventually I got it working. And I promised myself that from now on, every single time I work with jersey, I'm going to be using that cover stitch machine, no matter how inconvenient it is. And for me, cover stitch is very inconvenient because every single seam that I used a cover stitch on, I had to do that thing where you thread the ends through and then you onto a needle, and then you have to sew it so that it doesn't unravel. So a good, I would say 1/4 of the time that was spent making these was dealing with the cover stitch thing. But I told myself I'm gonna do it until I learn how to love it. So yeah, but the result is quite good. It's really, I like it. So when I compare the finish on these dresses, right, I really like them. So as you can see here, that's just a really nice, this is the narrow cover stitch that I used. But if you look at my hem here, I used the 3-step zigzag, which sure, it's okay, it's functional, but it doesn't quite have the same higher finish look as you get with this. So I'm going to hang on to that. That's the thing that's going to make me stick to it. Okay, and so this is what I have for today. Yeah, and it's just been really, it's been a lot of fun. I feel like I've actually been a lot more productive than I thought I was, because 21 minutes, oh my days, I've gone on for long enough now. Thank you so much if you've watched until the end. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. I hope that you found the video entertaining, useful, and informative. And if you did, please do smash the like button. If you haven't already, do subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. But until then, happy sewing, everybody. Bye.